This is RJ-Carbone, and you're listening to BD4.
Anthony for three. Bang! That one goes
this
down.
One by Mattingly. Oh, hang on to the
RJ Barrett does it again from downtown.
He is just tearing the Orioles
It's
apart.
good. It's good. Randall gets the bounce, and he ties the game.
Houston ducks under. Got it. With 8 tenths left.
Up and ran, slam the other way for Aaron Judge.
Penetrates, creates, and showing some dexterity as well with the left hand.
Yankees win. The Yankees win.
All right, what's happening, everybody? Welcome to the show. Welcome to episode 358 of BD4. I'm your host, RJ-Carbone. Welcome to the podcast. Welcome to BD4, where there's no better way to get your Yankees and Knicks analysis. We also do MMA now, too. Yanks every series. Knicks every game. MMA on the weekends. Usually cover the pay-per-view events. I know we were supposed to have one this past weekend with the guests on the show. Things got a little busy. Obviously, it was Easter weekend, but we did have a recap of UFC 273 this past week. Go check that one out. And I think it was the second most recent episode, so it's not too far back if you want to check that out. So yeah, welcome to the show. If you're new here, well, welcome, and please subscribe if you have not yet. You can find BD4 on many podcast platforms to download it. Apple Podcasts, if you find us there, be sure to give us to also give us a 5-star rating and review. We are currently a 5-star podcast and would like to keep it that way. You can also listen to us on SoundCloud, Google Podcasts, as well as Anchor, Google Podcasts, just said that. The usual listening platforms. And you can also watch the podcast on YouTube and Spotify. The video format of this podcast is now available on YouTube and Spotify. It's been for a bit. If you want to follow me on social media, I'm on Facebook at rjcarbone, r.j.carbone in the search bar, and I'm on Instagram at robjcarbone. And lastly, before we dive into the show, if you want to follow my blog, I write for ultimatesportsnetworks.com. Just go there and put into the search bar either my name, RJ Carbone, or the title of my blog, the Bomber Bacher blog. When you do that, subscribe to the Bomber Bacher blog using promo code 6A2841ERJC. This way you get 10% off everything per month. You get full access to every single article, and you're going to get discount 10% off on any merch that you decide to purchase on the Bomber Bacher blog. I'm going to try to breeze through this episode because I'm just like, I'm over it. When you predict these things and they come true, there's not much to share because I've said all these things. I'm not shocked by what's happening right now with the Yankees. They're 5-5, 10 games into the season, losing games to teams they should not lose games to. It's the same old indicators, and it's really gotten tiring and boring. I'm still excited for the baseball season. Don't get that wrong. I'm still hopeful, in ways that I don't know. I don't know that I'm hopeful for the Yankees. I'm still going to watch them with excitement because that's how I am for as long as I can, right? I mean, I'm going to watch every game, but who's to say I won't get bored of them quicker this year? Because if it's the same thing and it's looking like it's going to be the same thing, boy, it could be rough. So welcome to episode 358 of BD4. Once again, thank you for joining the podcast and listening to us. We're going to head to our first break, and when we get back, we're just not going to waste any further time, and we'll get right into the episode. So, we'll be right back. Stay with us, and we'll get to it. Alright, welcome back to the show. You're listening to episode 358 of BD4. I am your host, rjcarbone. We're going to head right into it and start recapping a little bit. So game one, this was Friday night, I believe. Yeah, Friday night. The Yankees end up losing 2-1. It was Jackie Robinson night, so that's always a good time. They had Cameron Maybin have his introduction into the booth. This was his first regular season series. I thought he did well this series. A couple people said they thought he looked or sounded nervous. I didn't get that really at all. I thought he bounced off of K well. I thought he had he's a good talker. He's got a soothing, calm voice, I guess. And he's good. I like these. He's a little positive, but I guess you got to be. You're on yes. But yeah, it was a nice Jackie Robinson day. It's always nice to see see everybody wearing number 42 in unity. But as far as the game goes, the Yanks put the first two runners on early, and they end up stranding them both. Really, just the same thing we've been seeing. The O's threatened in the second inning. DJ played some great defense. Rizzo had a nice pick, bails him out on a bad throw. Throw that Voit probably doesn't get to. Higashioka leads off the top of the third with a double. Monty works in and out of trouble in the third inning. DJ plays some more good defense throughout this game. He makes some more plays in the fifth inning. Monty ends up going 5 innings. Top of the sixth inning, the Yankees load the bases with 1 out for Aaron Hicks. And what does Hicks do? He grounds into a double play to end the frame. The Yankees special, the Aaron Hicks special. Jordan Lyles of the Orioles ends up smacking the Yankees around for 5 1/3 innings, just 1 earned run. He sucks. He really does. And they did 0. Former Yankee prospect, who I was once high on, Jorge Mateo, ties the game with a base knock in the 7th to take Montgomery's win away. He tries to stretch a single into a double. Gallo guns him down. One of the only things I've seen Gallo do in a positive, one of the only positives I've seen from Gallo since he's been a Yankee. That happened. Why does Peralta start the 7th versus 3 consecutive right-handed bats? I don't know. Where are your big arms there if you're Boone? Chad Green, maybe? Lasagna couldn't go an inning earlier? No, I guess not. Judge, who did not play, gets a pinch hit appearance in the top of the 10th. Grounds out to third. The runner stays on second. The Manfred runner, that is. Big spot for Moneybags to come through, and again, he does nothing. Not coming through in big spots this year. Okay. You want the contract. Marwin Gonzalez, defensive replacement in the 10th inning for IKF. Makes a few nice strong throws with momentum shifting to his right. Looked good. Then came the embarrassing stand-up comedy 10th or 11th inning. Rizzo's on second base. Stanton hits a ball to shortstop for a base hit. It was his third hit of the night. But Rizzo lets the ball hit him, and he is called out. It wasn't even that hard of a hit. It wasn't. You can't let that happen, in my opinion. You're a veteran of the game. And not long after that, Gallo then hits a ball in front of the plate, maybe 2 feet, not even in front of the plate. And he does not run because he thinks it's foul. It wasn't foul. And because he didn't run, he was tagged out. It was, I mean, you talk about the killer instinct of this team. We always talk about that. Some of these guys just don't have that. If you really want to win, if you really want to go balls to the wall, you're running everything out. I don't care if it's foul back into the booth where Kay and Maven sit. You run. So 2 base running blunders within the snap of a finger, and the Yankees are back, just like the old Yankees. The new Yankees, to be honest with you. The recent Yankees. It's late. I can't talk. It is, technically it's past midnight. It's April 18th, so it's Monday. But I'm off on Monday. What else happened? Gallo, we talked about that just now. You go Clark Schmidt to Chapman in the bottom of the 11th. Chapman comes in throwing sub 95. So there's an encouraging sign. And then he walks in, obviously he walks in the winning run because he chooses to go slider over fastball in a 3-ball count there with the bases loaded. The Orioles win. Trevino argues. By the way, it's Trevino. I was saying Trevino for a while, but I think on the broadcast they're finally consistently saying Trevino. But it tricked me because there's no thingy, swirly thing, Spanish thing over the N. Was it the accent? No. You know what I'm talking about. So I've been saying Trevino, but it's Trevino. He argues the call. Boone comes out. He goes berserk. He gets ejected at the end when the game's over. And that's that. In the press conference, Boone, I was wrong. And he was. It was a ball. But yeah, just another game where we have to burn 5 relief pitchers because our starters aren't allowed to throw more than 70 freaking pitches. Montgomery, this was his second start. He looked great. He threw 5 shutout frames, just 3 measly hits allowed, and he was pulled from the game because he had 71 pitches. And that got me looking up. I don't know if anybody else has looked this guy up, but if you want to laugh, look up the guy Old Hoss Radbourne on Baseball Reference. Oh my God. Just look it up. And just I know it's a different time. Back in the 1800s, they rode horses to work. But, it is funny. It is pretty funny just seeing the workload those pitchers had versus the ones that these guys do. Oh, my goodness. Old Hoss Radbourne. And it's like the most 1800s name in the world. The only thing I would say is, I wish the D in old was in E. So it was Old Hoss. But, you got to look the guy up if you want to get a good laugh and just look at his Baseball Reference numbers. In particular, the wins and the innings pitched and the amount of games he started. Please look it up. 71 pitches. Just keep that in mind. 71 pitches for Montgomery, and he's pulled when you look up Old Hoss. let's get to game 2. Let's get right to game 2. So in game 2, this was Saturday night. The Yankees win 5-2. It was a little longer than expected. The Yanks were down 2-0 in the 4th inning. That's when Tyone made the mistake to Mullins, 2-run home run. Then we had the hailstorm delay. It was a hailstorm. So the game was delayed for 49 minutes. We come back out there, and remember, the game started late too, half an hour late. But, the Yankees come back, and they're a bit rejuvenated in that 5th inning. Rizzo gets the RBI single. Stanton comes through with a big double. Donaldson brings the rain and pimps the home run. It's 4-2 Yankees. Trevino scores in the 6th inning. Makes it 5-2 on that passed ball. The Yankees win. They pick up 11 hits. Score 5 runs. It was a nice job by the lineup. Tyone ends up going 4.2 innings. He was good, but again, just that one bad mistake to Mullins. He grooved him a fastball, grooved it right down the plate, and Mullins took advantage of it. Just one mistake, like his first start. Other than that, I thought he worked pretty well with Trevino. He had the ground ball working, he got some flyouts, a couple of strikeouts, and it was nice to see him come back out after the post delay, after the rain delay. Because I feel like the Yankees, if anybody is not going to send a pitcher back out there, it's going to be the Yankees. But, 49 innings, he stayed warm, threw a little in the bullpen, and he comes back out. Then Sears comes in once Tyone leaves the game to face the lefty. He ends up pitching a full inning, gets his first win. Then he's sent back down because he had an option. Michael King pitched 2 innings. He continues to have a nice season. Clay Holmes then finished off the game and gets his first save. And that was really it for game 2. I want to talk about Sunday night's Easter game, or Sunday afternoon's game. I got some things to say when we get back. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Hey guys. So I've noticed that only a small portion of you who watch BD4 on YouTube are actually subscribed. So if you do enjoy this podcast, and maybe you want to be notified when new episodes release, I'd consider subscribing and also hitting that notification bell. This way we can help the channel grow, and you won't miss a single episode of BD4. Alright, let's get back to it. So, if you guys want to follow me on social media, be sure to do so right now. I'm on Facebook at rjcarbone, and I'm also on Instagram at rjcarbone. Once again, if you want to find me on Facebook, that is rjcarbone. Instagram at robjcarbone. Alright, welcome back to the show. You are listening to episode 358 of BD4. I am your host, RJ Carbone. If you are new here, be sure to subscribe to the show. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, SoundCloud, YouTube, many other platforms. If you want to follow me on social media, I'm at RJ Carbone on Instagram. RJ Carbone on Facebook. And on Instagram, I'm at Rob J. Carbone. Let's get to game 3, well, because we have to. And I've got some things to say. Happy Easter. I hope this didn't spoil it. You had nasty Nestor Cortez going up against Zimmerman. Nestor just dominating frame by frame. I mean, he starts out slow. First inning gets I think he had a runner or two on base. Couldn't find the zone consistently, working a little slow, but he finds it. He gets into a groove, and he ends up striking out 7 consecutive batters, and in the midst of that, pitches an immaculate 4th inning, which, if you don't know what an immaculate inning is, it's an inning where you pitch 9 pitches, all of them are strikes, and you strike out 3 batters. It's the most efficient inning a pitcher could ever have while striking batters out. So he pitches an immaculate inning, which is rarer than a no-hitter. Not as impressive because it's not as long. It's only an inning. But it was really cool. And they didn't even know. The booth didn't know. Higashioka threw the ball into the crowd. They had to go and get it back. But yeah, Nestor Cortez has been the Yankees' best pitcher this season far and away. I wouldn't say far and away because everybody else really has done a nice job in the rotation. Cole has not pitched up to his expectation, but he's still pitched like a number 5. He's pitched good, but he's just not pitching up to his par. But Nestor, now I think in 9 1/3 innings, he's got a 0 ERA, knock on wood. He threw 88 pitches this afternoon, which may be a high for Yankee starters this season. I have to look. But yeah, he's doing his thing. He's awesome. He's fun to watch. And he's just, you look at him and you're looking at a baseball player, right? Just a physical specimen, clean shaven, no porno stash. No, he's awesome. The Orioles end up, unfortunately, exploding on the Yankees in the 8th inning versus the bullpen for 5 runs. And really, that was your game. While I was eating dinner, that happened, so that was nice. That was really, really good. And, they asked Boone after the game about, going too long, possibly with a struggling, overworked, possibly already Johnny Lasagna, and not going with that lefty-lefty matchup with Litke warming up to face Odor in the 8th inning there. I would, I honestly, I think it's one of those things where either way I would have been okay with. I get on Boone for a lot for his bullpen management, but Lasagna has been your best reliever. You know what I mean? Although, this year he's kind of been up and down. But it's like Lucas Litke was warming up there. So why is he warming up if he wasn't going to come in to face Odor? Odor then knocks that 2-run single to start the engine for the Orioles, and there's your 8th inning, and eventually there's your ball game. And so the Yankees lost 2 out of 3 to a 110-loss team, most likely. I mean, it's bad. They're 5-5 now on the season. It sucks because they started out 2-0. Baseball's back. You're thinking, all right, maybe they're going to do something different this year and start out nice. No, we found our way back into mediocrity. And I can't help it. I know they have nothing to do with us right now. And just the competitor in me, the Yankee fan in me, hates doing it. But I check the scoreboard every night to see what the assholes across the street are doing. And it's like they're in a feel-good stretch right now. They feel like things are going well. And I don't even want to mention the team's name because I hate them so much. And it doesn't belong in my mouth. They're filth to me. But they're unfortunately playing well right now. And it just sucks because their owner, their general manager, they're doing what they need to do to win. They're not worrying about finances. And you look at the Yankees, and it's like, oh, nice. Because the first person I look at is Cashman. Boone sucks, sure. Hal's got his problems, sure. But Hal Steinbrenner did give Cashman a ton of money to work with, like Cashman always likes to point out. And look at what it's looking like right now. A pathetic series loss, again, to the lowly, probably 110-loss Baltimore Orioles. This Yankees team looks very similar, eerily similar to the one that's thrown out there the last 2 seasons. This team can't hit. They can't hit. They strike out all the time. They rely way too much on the power. They hit into double plays. I think 10 already to lead baseball. Their defense is still erratic. They're running into outs on the bases still. They can't cash in with runners in scoring position. They change the stupid batting order every single game, which maddens me. They sit their best players for garbage reasons. And the only positive you can really have about this Yankees team right now, the pitching, is bound to hit some rough patches eventually. And that's unfortunate. Because doing this crap, where we're having this incredibly tight leash on every single starter, and not only that, but abuse the bullpen even when we do get length from a starter, it's not sustainable. It's not. We are, and I say once again, trying way too hard to be the small market Yankees, to be the Kansas City, Pittsburgh Yankees, or as Yankees fans like to joke, the Tampa Bay Yankees. You got to go be the New York Yankees. You got to go be the evil empire. Why is Aaron Judge sitting against a team he basically owns a share of? He dominates this team. Why is DJ LeMahieu sitting in the middle game? Why is Anthony Rizzo sitting in the rubber game of this series? We are 10 games into a 162-game season. We're 10 games in. There is an off day tomorrow. As you listen to this, that's today. So, I mean, enough with the ridiculous idea of a double off day. I cannot stand that. That mentality is insane. You already have an off day coming up. You do not need 48 hours in a row sitting on your ass. You don't need that. These are men. These are professional athletes, the best in the world. Their jobs, literally their careers, are to play baseball for 162 days a year. That is their profession. And if you need help figuring out why the double off day is absurd, then look up the definition of profession. This whole rest first, win later philosophy is the exact same philosophy that got the Yankees into a wild card game at Fenway Park last season. That's why they got there. Because we see the Orioles on the schedule and we think, oh, well, this is a great time to soften up because we'll walk through them anyway. So let's sit Judge. Let's sit Rizzo. Let's sit DJ LeMahieu. You can't do both that and say you want to have this FU mentality. You can't. That's not possible. So we must figure this out. We got to stop resting guys every night. We got to stop changing the batting order every single night. Whether that's Boone doing that, Cashman, Hal, the Ivy Leaguers in the office at the round table, whoever it is that's doing that, it needs to stop. How about some continuity? How about establishing some solidified roles for each and every one of these players? Some consistency. I cannot imagine the players on this team, especially the veteran players, like this musical chairs bullcrap. I cannot imagine they do. Guys want to know what their job is. Now, I was talking to my cousin about this the other day, and he brought up a decent point. That everyone's role should be to hit, to get on base, to go out there and be productive. And I do agree. But that counterpoint isn't a counterpoint. It shouldn't be a counterpoint to what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Like, I think it'd make it easier. Their role should be to hit no matter what. But their role can still be to hit while knowing where they are in the order every day. Right? If you know where you're going to bat, if you know who you're going to be sandwiched in between, it'd be easier. We don't even know who the leadoff hitter is going to be on a game-to-game basis. Is it Donaldson? Is it Hicks? Is it ever going to be LeMahieu again? Is it Rizzo? We don't even know the 6 hitter, the 7 hitter. I get it. Some of it. New age baseball, you got to mix and match, righty, lefty. The numbers say this and that, all of that stuff. But it's like each and every day, the Yankees get further and further away from traditional baseball, where it gets a little too extreme. Because I get it. There are some things that are way too old school for today's game. I understand that. But man, between the shifting, we had Glaber in the outfield today, the multiple pitching changes per game, the whole third time through the order, you got to pull your starter, the idea that there are only 3 true outcomes at the plate, the leadoff situation, everybody, you got to have a power hitter up there. The Yankees it's like we're going a little too far down this rabbit hole of analytics. It's good to keep some traditional aspects intact here. It is. I'm just sick and tired of waiting for the lineup card to come out every 4 p.m. And as soon as it does, my phone buzzes. I see the notification. I look at the phone, and my eyes directly. The first thing I do is look for DJ LeMahieu. Is he gonna play? Look for Rizzo, Judge, Stanton. Those 4 guys. I'm like, all right, is any one of them going to sit? I shouldn't have to do that. That's a shame that we have to do that. It is a shame. They should be in there every day. I don't think Toronto does this. They have pretty much the same order. Vlad has played every 10 game. The Sox have played JD in every game. It's insane to me. It's insane. The Rays, it's like we're so focused on what Tampa's doing. We tried to mimic their bullpen strategy, having a reliever start the game. We try to do the mix and matching, and we just rely on analytics way too much because we think they're the Rays. The Rays are doing it, and it worked. They got to the World Series. We're not the Rays. We're the Yankees. The Yankees don't have prospects and new players every year. They've got a bunch of established guys like LeMahieu, Stanton, Judge, and Rizzo. I keep mentioning them because they're the top performers of the team. These guys should have a spot to live. They should know where they're going to stay throughout the season. And I understand you have a clunky roster construct like this. That's going to happen, right? A regular will sit. So that's on Cashman. Because how the hell, as the GM of this franchise, do you sit there, see what this team looked like all of last season, watch them get bullied at Fenway in the wild card like they didn't belong in the majors, and then how do you respond to that by sitting down and doing practically nothing but settle in one of the hottest free agent classes you will ever see? How do you do that? How? We'll be right back. Stay with us. So BD4 is on so many platforms to listen to. You can listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, SoundCloud. You can listen to us on Spotify. You can find us on our sponsor, Anchor, and many other listening platforms as well, wherever you get your podcast. But we are also available to watch on YouTube. So if you want to watch us on YouTube, go subscribe there. But if you prefer to listen to us, again, many listening platforms. Just be sure to subscribe, download, give us a rating, a review, comment, share the podcast, and all that fun stuff. This is BD4, where there's no better way to get your Yankees and Knicks analysis. All right, folks. Now, if you are listening to BD4 on Apple Podcasts, be sure to give us a 5-star rating and a review, if you so please. So once again, this is if you are listening to BD4 on Apple Podcasts, give us a 5-star rating and review. Thank you. All right, welcome back to the show. I am your host, rjcarbone. And you're listening to episode 358 of BD4. I'm your host, RJ. Speaking of analytics, Joey Gallo is dog water. He's dog water. To a point where I saw Tim LeCastro in there today over Gallo. I legit felt butterflies. I was happy. Tim LeCastro's an automatic out. So is Joey Gallo. He's an automatic strikeout. Which, by the way, that whole idea, like this whole notion that Gallo is only underachieving, is he even underachieving at this point? Because of some bad luck. It may just be the most Zoomer millennial trophy generation load of horse crap I've ever seen. And I sound like a total boomer here. All right, but I'm 27. I know what my generation thinks. They think a little differently than I do. But it's like I saw this graphic. Somebody actually took the time to make a graphic that showed Gallo is first in baseball in barrel percentage, exit velocity, and I think the other one was hard hit percentage or something. It's like, first of all, you people carried that same exact shtick with Gary Sanchez all throughout his career here in New York. That was all you heard. Gary's going to turn it around. He's just unlucky at the moment. It's not sustainable to be that unlucky when you hit it so hard. Stop getting on Gary. I'm going to get on guys for as long as they continue to suck. That's just how it works. Yankees fans will live in the moment. What have you done for me lately, right? And right now, Joey Gallo sucks. There is not one number that you can show me that tells me that Joey Gallo is doing positive things at the plate right now. And you can't predict the future. Baseball, you cannot predict. So I don't care if your numbers indicate that he's going to turn it around and that is bad luck, that it's not sustainable. I don't care. I want to see it happen first before I praise him. How stupid would I look if I'm sitting here saying, he's hitting 140, but you know what? I think he's doing great because eventually he's going to do... And let's not act like Joey Gallo doesn't strike out and whiff in a third of his at-bats. That's not luck. That's him striking out and having a swing that practically aims for the sky. He's striking out so far in 11 of his 35 at-bats or plate appearances. That's a 31% K rate. That's almost a third of his trips to the plate. I think the league average is 23%. So that's pretty bad. The benchmark I usually like to look at 20% because that's like the average, but like year to year the actual statistical average fluctuates and it's usually, give or take 23%. But, going back to, this is where whoever makes the lineups, can we just sit Gallo? And the guys just play, I wouldn't mind just sitting Gallo. When he's in the lineup, he's a black hole. It's bad enough that numbers 6 through 9 are black holes. They're automatic outs themselves. Torres, Higashioka, he's horrible. IKF, LeCastro. We cannot have that. That was the lineup today, 6 through 9. That was awful. We cannot put out a lineup where half of our guys are automatic outs and call ourselves the Bronx Bombers. Torres is so lost at the plate, dude, that he bunted today with those 7 to 9 hitters behind him. By the way, the second he got some reps at shortstop, he makes an error. Oh, it's hard. It's hard because I like the kid, man. I want to. It's like, why is he there, though? You were telling us all offseason he cannot play shortstop, and you put him there. And you can even throw 5 black holes if you include Donaldson, because the guy cannot make contact with an off-speed pitch. I know he hit the home run yesterday, great for him, but overall, he ain't doing it. And the guys who are hitting right now, the guys who are actually producing, they still aren't really coming up in big spots, hence the overall team average with runners in scoring position. I mean, Hicks is the last guy, as well as he's hitting, that I want up with guys on base. I was listening to Talking Yanks. He's a 600 hitter with nobody on base. And he was saying how he's a 143 hitter so far. With runners in scoring position. That's why it feels like he's not doing well. Because the numbers are there. But when you peel back the layers, he's not coming through in the big spots ever. 2 double plays. So he's hitting right now. It's good for him. I do expect him to regress back to his usual 240 and below self soon enough. But right now, I'll give him credit, because I'm not going to nitpick. He's one of the few guys on the team who are actually hitting. So good for him. Judge, the numbers aren't too bad himself. But it's like you're Mr. Moneybags, right? You want the money. You declined the $250 million contract for 7 years. That wasn't good enough for you. You've done 0 good things in big spots yourself. He has 1 RBI on the season. You want to be the franchise? You want to be a moneymaker? An alpha? Be there for your team when you are needed most. It's pretty embarrassing. It is. I'm so tired of losing to this team. We should be smacking this team. If the Yankees were truly great or even very good, these games are blowout victories, not losses, not just victories, blowout victories. So, yeah, I mean, the only good thing is a couple of players, right? Like DJ LeMahieu. Okay. Played 2 games this series. He was 3 for 7. Walked. All right. He's hitting .321 on the year. He looks good. He's hitting line drives, and he's going the other way again. I like it. I just wish he would be back at the leadoff spot. So I like the way DJ is playing. Aaron Hicks. Not bad, huh? He had a decent series. 3 for 10. Couple of walks. Again, I don't mind him lead off for now, but eventually when he goes back to his norm, then can we please get DJ back up there? And then the third guy here I want to feature, my guy, Nestor. Pitched the final game of this set. 5 innings today. No earned runs. 12 strikeouts. 1 walk. 3 hits. And they were all singles. Pitched an immaculate 4th inning in the midst of a 7 strikeout streak. He looked phenomenal. And like I said, he keeps doing his things. So, yeah, that's really it. Couple of bats, and the entire pitching staff is really doing well. Every starting pitcher and the bullpen. But you've got to start hitting. I think the Yankees in 10 games this season have 30 runs, or that might have been a stat from... No, 10 games, 30 runs, right? That's 3 runs per game. That's not acceptable with a $250-something million payroll. It has got to improve. So that's it. We're going to head to our final break, and when we get back from break, we're going to wrap it up with the NYY-NYK question, NYY-NYK-MMA question of the day. So stay with us. We'll be right there. Hey guys, I hope you're enjoying this episode. But first, I also want to let you know I have another blog. The blog I'm writing for is on ultimatesportsnetworks.com, titled The Bomber Bacher Blog. If you want to go subscribe to this blog, you should do so using my promo code 6A2841ERJC. Using that, you'd get a discount, $7.99 a month, to get the best Knicks and Yankees opinionated content around. Once again, guys, the Bomber Bacher Blog, on ultimatesportsnetworks.com using promo code 6A2841ERJC, $7.99 a month. A custom wall tapestry is a surefire way to uplift any room's aesthetics with a personal touch. This 100% polyester wall tapestry comes with hemmed edges for extra durability, while its mildew and water-resistant properties ensure years' worth of decorating bliss. The advanced tapestry printing techniques guarantee crisp detail even for the craziest of designs in any of the multiple size choices. You can select a size of 26 by 36 inches, 51 by 60, 68 by 80, and 88 by 104. These wall tapestries usually ship in 7 to 10 business days, and the price ranges from $24.99 to $69.99, all dependent on the size you select. The Bomber Bocker blog wall tapestries come in orange, gray, and black. But most importantly, be sure when purchasing a wall tapestry for the Bomber Bocker blog that you use promo code 6A2841ERJC. 6A2841ERJC. Just go to ultimatesportsnetworks.com and click on the Shop MVP tab, searching the Bomber Bocker blog. And there you have it. So I mentioned earlier how I was listening to a few minutes of Talking Yanks before I jumped on here. And one of the really good points he made, John Boy, was that there have been like 2 stretches over the last 2 or 3 seasons where the Yankees have looked like a great baseball team, a very good to great baseball team. And that they have both been when the Yankees have ditched their analytics and have been forced to go away from it because they're playing guys with short sample sizes and prospects and replacement players. That was in 2019 during the Next Man Up stint, and that was towards the end of the season last year. Remember where they started to steal more bases and do all that. So I found that very interesting. Just a little tidbit. So let's get to the NYY-NYK-MMA question of the day to wrap this thing up. All right. So for episode 358, our NYY-NYK-MMA question of the day. Who collected the first hit of the postseason for the 2021 Yankees? Who collected the first hit of the postseason for the 2021 Yankees? All right. So the first hit of that Red Sox-Yankees game last year at Fenway. Who was it for the Yankees? For the Yankees. All right, so that is it for episode 358. I do appreciate you tuning in. I'm your host, rjcarbone. And that's it, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. And I will see you in the next episode. It'll be 359 after this Tigres series. Oh, boy. Should be fun. At least Baez is out. Speedy recovery to him, though. He's a good player. And that's it, guys. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next one. Ciao. This podcast is brought to you by Anchor. It's the best way to make a podcast. Download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm.